Have you ever sat across from someone, listening to every word they say, yet felt a strange sensation inside, something you couldn't quite name? A vague intuition, like a breeze passing by, suggesting that the person in front of you might be wearing a mask, not truly showing who they are. We live in a world where sincerity can sometimes feel incredibly rare and precious. On the outside, everyone can wear a friendly smile, nod in agreement, but inside, they may carry hidden agendas we never imagined. Day after day, we place our trust in the people around us, hoping that genuine affection will be reciprocated with real friendship. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. Sometimes all we get back are lukewarm smiles, hollow reassurances, or even heart-wrenching disappointment. So is there a way to recognize these subtle yet profound signs of insincerity? How do you know if someone is by your side out of true care, or just because they have something to gain? When faced with signs of deception, instead of feeling hurt and disappointed, learn to observe, identify, and keep your heart at peace. Because, you know what? People who aren't genuine cannot harm you if you don't let them. So, how do we tell when we're being deceived? How can we protect our hearts from relationships full of doubt and disappointment? That's why I'm here today, to share with you 7 signs that reveal the presence of insincerity in relationships, so you can hold on to the clarity and peace of mind you deserve. Part 1. They never reach out to you first. Have you ever noticed that, in some relationships, you're always the one who has to take the initiative? You're the one texting first, making the calls, setting up the meetings, and without your efforts, that relationship would slowly fade into silence, as if it had never existed. At first you might think, oh, maybe they're busy, maybe they just didn't notice. But soon you realize an undeniable truth. This person only comes around when there's something to gain, when they need something from you, and they disappear the moment there's nothing left for them to take. People who only stay in your life for personal gain are just holding on to the relationship because of that benefit. If not, you're simply an afterthought, a name at the end of their list. Calls go unanswered, messages are left without a reply, and meetings only happen if you're the one initiating. You may think it's just the situation, but in reality, the truth might be clearer than you think. In Stoic philosophy, Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you that matters, but how you respond to it. This statement is powerful when applied to relationships like these. What we can control isn't how others treat us, but how we respond. You don't need to feel hurt or try to make them care. Sometimes, the answer lies in silence. If someone truly cares about you, they'll reach out to you naturally without prompting or reminders. So instead of placing too much expectation on them, learn to let go. Let things unfold naturally so you can see who genuinely cares and who's only holding on to the relationship for their own reasons. Don't try to salvage a relationship if you're the only one keeping it going. In doing so, you're only hurting yourself. Think about it. If you stop texting, stop calling, stop planning, would they notice your absence in their life? If the answer is no, then you already have your answer. Take some time to assess your relationship. Ask yourself, am I the one keeping it all together? If you stop reaching out, would that relationship even exist? This answer will make it clear who truly cares and who's simply a passing shadow. You don't have to end things immediately, but release yourself from unnecessary expectations. Allow things to reveal themselves. Rest assured that even if someone doesn't show up when you don't initiate, it doesn't diminish your worth. Your value lies in who you are, not in how others treat you. Part 2. They're not there when you need them. Have you ever faced a moment when everything felt hard and you just needed someone by your side, to listen, to share, or even just to remind you that you're not alone? You call, you text, hoping that close friend will be there for you, just as you've been for them many times. But there's only the sound of a ringing phone, an unread message, and an eerie silence. They aren't there when you need them. They're always too busy or have something more important going on. And you begin to realize maybe this relationship isn't what you thought. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Stoicism, taught us a profound lesson. Don't let others control your mind. He reminded us that strength and peace must come from within, not dependent on someone else's presence or support. Stoics understand that, in life, there will be times when we face hardships alone, and outside support isn't always available. What matters is that we can rely on ourselves, not swayed by people who are only present when things are easy. It's heartbreaking to realize that some friends only show up when things are good, when there's no challenge. To them, closeness is a convenience, not a commitment. They easily vanish when you need them most, leaving you stranded in your feelings and difficulties. These people may be skilled at offering advice or comfort when things aren't too complicated, but when you face real challenges, they're unwilling to share the burden with you. A true friend won't shy away from standing by you, even when it doesn't benefit them. They won't walk away when you're at your weakest, or abandon you when you've failed or been hurt. True friendship is built on resilience and compassion, not empty words or fleeting appearances. Reflect on your relationships with a bit of objectivity. Ask yourself, when I struggle, who stands by me? Who willingly helps without considering inconvenience or personal gain? And who only says they're busy or has other things to worry about, or sometimes doesn't even respond? These answers may be uncomfortable, but reality is that when you go through tough times, it reveals who's truly sincere and who only stays when things are easy. Remind yourself that, in your hardest times, whether someone is there or not, you can overcome it alone. True strength doesn't come from the hands that hold you, but from the resilience and calm within. And when you possess that strength, you'll find that true friends will naturally stand by you, without invitation, without need for prompting, just from a bond of sincerity. For those who aren't there when you need them, let them go. You don't need relationships like that in your life. Treasure those who stay even when you're not perfect, when you're weak or struggling. They're the ones truly worth your appreciation and care. Part 3. They only talk about themselves. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where every word revolves around the other person? You sit there, listening to them talk about their achievements, their struggles, their views, while you barely get a chance to share your own feelings. And even when you do try to speak up, they only acknowledge it briefly before returning to their own stories, as if you're just an audience to their solo performance. If you've experienced this, you've encountered a particular type of person, those who are entirely self-centered. To them, you're not a true friend, but a mirror reflecting what they want to see. They don't come to you for connection, but to have someone listen to their tales. Stoic philosophy reminds us, don't waste time debating what a good person should be. Just be one. A truly worthy person to connect with is someone who knows how to listen, who creates space to appreciate the feelings and stories of others, instead of constantly placing themselves at the center. They may not have all the answers, but they understand that a sincere conversation is a two-way exchange where both people can speak and listen equally. Ask yourself, when you share something important, does the other person genuinely listen? Do they pause to reflect on what you said, or do they just respond half-heartedly before steering the conversation back to their own stories? A true friend cares about your feelings and your story because they value you. They don't see you as a mere backdrop for their tales, but as someone they genuinely want to connect with and understand. People who are only focused on themselves often live in the whirlpool of their own ego. They crave recognition, admiration, and seek attention constantly. But sadly, what they lack is empathy and the ability to listen. You could sit for hours listening to their stories, but when you need comfort or empathy, they easily change the subject or don't even notice what you just said. Life is too short to waste on one-sided relationships. A real friend will never make you an unwilling listener, but will value your stories as much as you value theirs. Choose to spend time with people who, when you're with them, you feel heard and understood. not just an audience to someone else's life. Remember, we can't change how they act, but we can completely choose how we react. So, step calmly out of that cycle. You don't need validation from people like that. Look for those who listen to you, who share and empathize. True friendship isn't a solo performance of the ego, but a harmonious dance, where both of you blend into each word, each feeling, each moment. Those are the ones worth your time and affection. And remember, your worth doesn't lie in how long you can listen to someone, but in choosing to spend your time with those who genuinely value you. Part 4. They forget what you say. Have you ever felt this way? You open up and share something really important with someone, but the next time you meet, they don't remember a thing you said. Maybe you told them about a big event in your life, a goal you're pursuing, or a story you had to think a long time before sharing. And then, when you bring it up again, hoping they'll remember and care, you're met with a blank stare, a casual response, or worse, a surprised look as if they had no memory of it. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, reminds us that true friendship is born from genuine care. Sincerity doesn't require many words, doesn't need promises or elaborate commitments, but is shown in how they listen to you and remember the things important to you. If someone truly cares, they won't easily forget what you share, because in their heart, those things hold meaning, just as they do for you. Think about it. If a friend constantly forgets what you share, do they truly value you? A sincere friend doesn't need to remember every little detail, but they will hold on to the things that truly matter to you. They're not careless or forgetful, because in their heart, you have a secure place. And because of that, what you say holds meaning and value to them. When you realize that someone doesn't remember anything you've shared, it may make you feel a bit sad, disappointed, but don't let that feeling hurt you. This is just a sign to help you see who truly deserves your time and effort. Instead of trying to remind or waiting for care from those who aren't sincere, keep close those who listen to you with their heart. These are the people who will remember what you say, not out of duty, but because they genuinely care. So give yourself some peace in knowing you have the right to choose people who truly listen and remember. Don't waste your time and emotions on those who treat what you say as mere passing stories. Keep close those who always remember you, your stories, and are willing to share those moments with you most sincerely. People who truly care will never let your story fade into forgetfulness. They'll remember, not because they have to, but because they want to. This is the sign of a true friendship, one that you can rely on, not to expect, but to find peace in knowing you've chosen the right person to share with. Part 5. They speak badly about you behind your back. Have you ever experienced this? You're friendly with someone, sharing your thoughts, stories, and beliefs, trusting that this person is a reliable companion. Then one day, you hear that they've said negative things about you behind your back, things you never expected. They may smile, say nice things in front of you, but spread words you don't want to hear when you're not around. This type of person is unique. They present themselves as friendly and close, but constantly look for ways to tear you down when you're not there. In your heart, you may first feel hurt and disappointed. You wonder, why would they do that? Why would someone I trust act like this? But what's more important is not letting the hurtful words and hidden actions damage you. Stoic philosophy has a profound lesson. No one can harm you if you don't allow it. Gossip, slander, and negative thoughts others create about you cannot touch you if you don't let them. This means that no matter what they say or think, it cannot diminish your value unless you allow it to. In life, there will always be people who try to paint a different picture of you to others because they feel jealousy, insecurity, or simply want to feel superior. They can't be content with your success or view you positively. Instead of dealing with their feelings, they choose to bring you down, belittling you to elevate themselves. But you know what? Actions like this only reveal their weakness, not diminish any part of your value. Stoicism teaches us to hold on to our minds, to stay above gossip, and not let it sway us. One of the most important teachings from Marcus Aurelius, the emperor and Stoic philosopher, is that we can't control what others think or say about us, but what we can control is how we respond. We can choose not to let those words disturb us, not to let them reach our beliefs and inner peace. So how can we do that? Remind yourself that your value doesn't depend on how others see you. They may say untrue things, they may spread negativity, but you remain yourself, a person with admirable qualities and inherent value. What others say doesn't define you. Your actions and attitudes are what truly confirm who you are. Next time you find out someone is saying bad things about you, don't let it shake you. You don't need to prove anything to them, nor change yourself to fit anyone's perception. Instead, maintain your calm, your confidence, and faith in yourself. Gossip is just a weak echo, incapable of touching who you truly are. And remember, those who truly value you won't be swayed by those negative words. They'll see your true worth through your actions, through the way you live and treat others. Part 6. They act differently with different people. Have you ever met someone who seems to be a different version of themselves, depending on who they're with? When they're with you, they appear friendly, empathetic, and kind. But when they're around someone else, perhaps someone with more status, power, or influence, you notice a clear shift in their demeanor, their language, their behavior. Even the opinions they once firmly held seem to change. Such people don't truly live by any specific values. They lack consistency because, to them, each relationship is simply a means to achieve something. They're willing to alter their attitude, behavior, and even identity to fit the circumstances as long as it benefits them. They might act humble with you, but become arrogant in front of others. They might agree with you on one thing, but quickly change to please someone else. These people lack sincerity, and their true nature becomes elusive, difficult to discern. Stoic philosophy always reminds us to live honestly, consistently, and not let ourselves be swayed by changing circumstances or people around us. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, once said that our integrity should not change for anyone. Stoics live by their core values, unaffected by external influences, and always respect themselves. They understand that a person's worth lies in their consistency, the alignment of their words and actions, regardless of the situation. Observe someone who frequently changes their attitude depending on the people they're with. It might be a colleague who's friendly and open with you, but becomes cold or tries to belittle you in front of the boss to impress them. Or it could be a friend who's enthusiastic with you, but when they're with someone they see as more valuable, they shift their attention, barely acknowledging your presence. These people only care about the benefits relationships bring them. They're willing to adjust themselves to each circumstance and each person, without ever showing genuine sincerity. This inconsistency is not only a sign of insincerity, but a clear display of a two-faced nature, a trait we should be cautious of. A person who cannot uphold their values and principles, who cannot live honestly with themselves, is not someone we should place our trust in. They're unreliable because they don't stay true to themselves. Therefore, when challenges or difficulties arise, you won't know if they'll stand by you or change to suit a new circumstance. Cherish those who live honestly and consistently in their actions. These are people you don't need to doubt, people you don't have to wonder how they'll behave in each situation. People who live sincerely are always themselves, without needing to change to please anyone. They live with honesty, with self-respect, and never let themselves be swayed by others' opinions. These are the people worth your time and affection, because they'll always be with you with a genuine heart, unchanging. Take time to observe the people in your life. Those who alter themselves to fit in with others, those who have different attitudes depending on who they're with, might not be the ones deserving of your emotions and trust. Instead, cherish and keep close those who, When you're with them, you never have to question their sincerity. These are the real friends who will always stand by you with a sincere, unwavering heart. Finally, remember that honesty and consistency not only help you choose the right people to accompany you, but also guide you to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. Let Stoic philosophy lead you, helping you not only recognize two-faced individuals, but also live sincerely and consistently, so you too become the friend others can wholeheartedly trust. Part 7. They only reach out when they need something from you. Have you ever noticed that some people in your life only show up when they need something? When they need advice, help, or even just when they're going through a tough time, they suddenly reach out to you. They appear, say kind words, seem friendly, only to disappear once they get what they wanted. You're the person they seek out in times of need, but when everything's good, when they've gotten what they wanted, they leave without a second glance. People like this aren't truly looking for genuine relationships. They're not there to share joy or sorrow, but only to get something out of it. They see you as a resource, as a temporary solution to their problems. And do you notice? Each time they show up, you feel exhausted, like you're being used and don't know how to get out. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we don't need to become anyone's tool. Seneca reminds us that a genuine relationship must come from both sides, with mutual care and sharing. If someone only seeks you out when they need something and never shows up when you need them, then it might be time to reconsider that relationship. The sad truth is, we often try to maintain these one-sided relationships, hoping that by helping and giving, we'll get something back. But that's rarely the case. People who only see you as a benefit will never truly value you. They only see you through the lens of what they can get from you. And when there's nothing left to give, they'll have no hesitation in leaving to find someone else. Ask yourself, if you stop helping, stop giving, would this relationship still exist? Would that person stay, or would they leave and seek someone else? A real friend would never make the relationship a burden for one side alone. They won't only take without ever giving back. They won't wait until they need something to reach out to you, but will always be there, even in the best and worst of times. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, reminds us that we can't control what others do, but we can control how we respond. If you find yourself in a one-sided relationship, don't hesitate to protect yourself. Don't fear rejection or keeping your distance, because that's how you preserve your energy and soul for those truly deserving. Life is too short to waste on relationships that don't add value. Your time, energy, and emotions are valuable. Dedicate them to those who, when you need them, are there for you, who don't see you as just a means to achieve their personal goals. Stoicism doesn't teach us to be selfish or to shut ourselves off entirely, but it encourages us to be discerning in choosing relationships that are truly worth cherishing. You don't need to be anyone's tool, and you don't need to be in relationships that only leave you feeling empty. True relationships don't demand one person to constantly give without receiving in return. Take the time to reassess those around you. If someone constantly reaches out only when they need something, consider whether that's truly a friendship or just exploitation. Don't feel guilty for wanting to keep what you have for yourself. Those who genuinely care for you will never only appear in times of need, but will stand by you in all moments, simply because they value you, not just what you can give. Looking back at these signs of insincerity, from people who never initiate contact with you, who only appear when they need something, who talk behind your back or change their behavior based on the person they're with, we realize that not everyone in our lives deserves our trust and affection. Stoicism teaches us that the true value of a relationship doesn't lie in quantity, but in quality and sincerity. In life, there will always be people who come and go, and that's completely normal. What's important is our ability to choose carefully, to keep those who genuinely bring us joy, peace, and who are willing to walk with us through challenges. And for relationships that only make us feel drained, doubtful, or used, let's bravely let go. See it as a way to protect your mind and spirit. Stoics always rely on themselves, confident in who they are, and don't let anyone or anything disturb their peace of mind. We can't control how others behave, but we can control our response. True peace comes from not letting others control our emotions and spirit. Live with resilience and confidence. Focus on relationships that bring true value and meaning. If someone cannot appreciate you, it's time to appreciate yourself more than ever. You deserve to be surrounded by people who are genuine, trustworthy, and willing to share life's journey. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to join us as we continue exploring the profound lessons of Stoicism. Remember, life is a journey of seeking inner peace and strength.